This morning, Dad and myself just got down here to the cold crop field. We're going to be picking a bin of cabbage for the Scranton Farmers Market, which is about an hour away from our farm. Wilkes-Barre is now done. That's another farm market we go to that's around a half hour away from our farm. Both farm markets end about a week or two before Thanksgiving. Some farmers even stop before that if they run out of produce, but luckily for us, we still have quite a bit to take. Scranton will probably go for around 5 or 6 more markets, and then that'll be done as well. Then it will just be our home farm market going all season long like it always does. After cabbage is broccoli. We've gone through our whole patch and picked off just about all the main heads, which is the largest head that grows on a plant. But if you keep taking care of it, keep watering it, you're gonna get what's called shoots, or what we call shoots. And that's just basically a miniature broccoli. Depending on the variety, sometimes you'll get 15 to 20. If it does really good, maybe even 30 shoots off of one plant after the main head produces. So, especially for us, it really benefits to take care of it. That way we can keep picking for a long time. So cabbage and broccoli are done. The broccoli was for Mom for the farm market. Cabbage is for Scranton in the bin. And now we're gonna pick around 20 trays of cauliflower for Scranton as well tomorrow. We picked the beginning of this, but we have not only this side of the road, but then down here as well. And you can just see how huge it is. Nice, pretty white, a little bit yellow from the sun. This one's actually starting to go bad. You can see the black spots on there. It's a shame, but we're picking it as fast as possible. When it starts to get real mature, it'll actually get purple, as you can see there. Don't know why, but it does.
So some of these are going to be smaller, but I know they're beautiful.
So it is Monday morning. We're just now loading for the Scranton Farmers Market. Last night we finally got a good amount of rain. I don't know how much we got yet, but it was enough to make everything soaked and even have puddles around. So that was really good and much needed. Dad just threw a bin of cabbage on. Now he's thrown on a pallet of cauliflower. And then here is a pallet of onions, potatoes, and some butternut and spaghetti. And then obviously we have a bunch of potatoes to sell yet. And then in here, I'm gonna be loading up just about the last of the peppers, which is bell. Here are some of the oldest, which isn't even that old. And then this is the freshest. And this right here is the last for the season. The last 3 pallets are packed. I'm gonna head up on the truck. Start packing stuff in. It was only like a week ago, we were filling this thing from front all the way to the back with bins and pallets and baskets, but now our supplies is really going down, and even after we get everything we could possibly want on it, it's probably about 3/4 full. And I'll show you here at the end. So obviously, as the season goes on, our variety gets less and less, but we have a whole table filled with all fall decoratives. And then we move into potatoes, cauliflower, garlic, broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, hot pepper bushes, which is the last of the season, tomatoes, which is just about done, more potatoes, a couple peppers, onions, and then more cabbage and cauliflower. And then down here is a bunch of nice potatoes, but there are second potatoes like I was telling you about. And so you can see they might have a spot on them, goofy shaped, but all in all, once you peel them and maybe cut that little bad spot out, they're gonna be just fine. Then back here's like all of our storage, bin of cabbage, lots of cauliflower, and then over there's all the potatoes and peppers. Truck is now empty.
Get your cauliflower. $10 extra cauliflower. We're selling for $4.
Oh, you're
You know what we're doing? I'm going to give you 2%.
How about 2%?
2%. Yeah. 2 for 10. Okay.
2%, and I'll buy something else.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So it's the next day after market. We had a pretty decent day for this time of the year. Up on the truck, this is what we brought back. I think we brought back around 5 trays of cauliflower. The rest underneath is all empty. Didn't sell many pumpkins, which is kind of expected. Half a bin of cabbage. We bought some apples for the farm market from another farmer, and just a little bit of red beets, some potatoes, half a crate of bell peppers, and then over here is a couple baskets that we brought back of seconds potatoes. And that still seems like quite a bit, but I think we took like 20 altogether or something close to that. And so to sell over half is what we're hoping for. And so now I'm gonna head down to the barn. I'm gonna feed the cows, go down to the coal crop field, because basically that's the only thing we're harvesting now at this point. Grab some cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, I think some kale, and then that's gonna get hauled out to the farm market. And then I'm not sure what I'm gonna get into for the day, but it's always something interesting. It's very cold. It's like, well, not very cold, but cold compared to what it's been. It's gonna be like a high of 40 today, and the wind is supposed to get up to 40-mile-an-hour gusts, so it's gonna feel a lot colder than that. First of all, we gotta come in here to the barn. Daisy and I come over here to the chop cart, which is the food for the cows. The chop is a mixture of corn, oats, and soybean meal, and I think other minerals. We have to cover it because the birds just love to get into it. And this is what it looks like right here. Then we'll come down here to the far end and feed the cats. At one time, all of this was all filled with cows, but not anymore. Now we just kind of use it for storage. This is where we keep all of our lumber. There's some metal from the shed we did earlier in the season. Get some more cat food. So now I'm down to the broccoli field, getting some really nice shoots. You can see that there. Basically just getting anything that's big enough to cut, as long as it's mature. Even something like that. It's tiny, but
you can eat that, no problem. There's not a lot of broccoli because we've been cutting it like crazy, but there is probably 2 of these tubs, maybe 3, left in this entire field, which goes up over the hill. And that's 3 bushel baskets. That'd probably clean us out. But the nice thing is that it's still growing. We just got rain, so more is gonna be coming on, that's for sure. And the last thing I'm gonna get out of this field today is kale. I'm not quite sure what to do with this because I want to bunch it, but it's too like firm to bunch. So I'm just gonna lay the leaves in there and we can figure the bunches out when we get it to the market. And I guess that's literally all I'm gonna get in there. Kind of looks cool though. The wind is just ridiculous up here on the hill. Windiest part I think of the entire farm. But we're at the Brussels sprouts. And when I say we, I mean me and Daisy. And I'm gonna get probably like 6 of them is all. Something like this is what I'm really looking for. Nice all the way down to the bottom, good size. I'll take my loppers, cut it off, even though it's not a real tall one. And then I'll break those leaves off, like so. And that's all it's to it. 1 bad Brussels sprout there. And that's it. So after Dad and I finished the potatoes, he had to run for supplies for the farm market. I came up here to the strawberry field to hopefully get this finally finished up, or just about finished up today. We still have weeds in between the row, which isn't a huge deal. The big problem right now that we're having is we need to get the electric fence up and running. And so just minor things like hooking the gates back up. I accidentally hit this post with the sprayer, so I've got to either straighten the post out and get that to tighten up, or actually it's that post down there that I hit, or just pull the post out and then pound it back in, making it tight. So just little things like that. And obviously the biggest problem I got to get back up and running is the actual fencer itself. I took this down so I could spray along the edge of the field, but now we have to put it back up. This is a PowerMac Precision 30-mile solar fencer. Right here's your connections, on, off. Works really well. As far as we can see anyway, we haven't had near the deer damage that we've had previous years. All right, so the fencer is back up on the T-post, ready to go. We had to put two, I think like 4-foot ground rods in. We didn't bury them all the way, that way we can pull them back out later. Went in horribly hard, but they're pretty good now. Then we have this copper wire that's gonna go to the black connection here, which I'm gonna screw down with this nut. It's gonna go right on there like that as soon as I take that nut off. And then the poly wire, which is this wire right here. I don't know where it's at. We'll have some on the Kubota here, I can show you. This is like reflective, kind of. And then in there is little metal wire, which is what runs your electric through the entire thing, which this field is like 1,400 feet long. So double that, 2,800 feet, that's like half a mile. And I'm definitely no expert at this. So if you guys have tips and tricks or see something that I'm doing wrong, definitely let me know, because I'm learning as I'm going here. So I'm doing the best I can. This had a regular nut, I think, but I lost it. But now I had to do a little makeshift here with some washers. Oh, I can't get that on there. There it goes. Okay. I think it's on. Yeah, there it goes. So, got a new line run from the first gate to the fencer. Now we're good to go. I don't have the right cutters here to cut through that metal wire and the poly wire, so I'm gonna let that long. I'm not gonna even try and turn it on today. But this was the big hard part. Now that this is done, I'm gonna go fix that post like I was saying about, and then I'm just gonna drive around, maybe not today, but the next day, and make sure it's all nice and tight, and then we're ready to turn it on. Before I leave the field, I actually gotta do something very important yet, and that is get that pressure regulator out of the field. Then I should be good with getting all my important parts out. Got the sand filters drained, that way they don't freeze. Got our fertilizer injector gone. Now it's just, like I said, the electric fence, and we're good for winter. All this is gonna require is taking that clamp off, popping this off, and we're good to go. All right, there it is. Got that flipped over so mice can't go in there. And I have a wire tie on that so they can't go in there. That's rolled up so they can't go in there. We're good to go.